What's going on, everybody? I'm back again tonight with another video. I just woke up um, from a nap. As usual, always have a lot of stuff on my mind. In this video, I want to talk about the time when I was going to school to get my GED. Now, this was around, I believe, 2022 or 2023. I can't remember, somewhere around there. At that particular time, I was emailing a lot of GED schools, like in Long Island, but they was doing vaccinations, and I didn't want to take the vaccine, just to go to school. So thankfully, they had a couple in Manhattan, and my school was basically in Manhattan. So I emailed them. They got back to me within like a day or two, ready for orientation. So, boom, orientation comes, and my first day, I'm nervous as hell because, I told you guys, like, I'm a big introvert. I'm very shy now. It's hard for me to open up to people, strangers, and stuff like that. So I go to orientation around like near Madison Square Garden. That's where the school was at. I believe it was on the third or fourth floor, because that particular school had like different floors for different people. And so I go to orientation. It was me and a couple of other people, going to orientation too as well that day. So they had us go inside this room, and the room is like a long table. It looked like a meeting office or something, where a lot of meetings take place. So we all go in there, we sit down at the long table, and then they have the what's that thing? I think the projector or something like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about, where you sit there and watch the joint on the wall, like the TV or whatever you call it. So anyways, mind you, I'm nervous as hell. My heart is thumping because it's my first day for the orientation. So it was about, like I said, everybody was going there for different reasons. It was adults there, and then it was some kids there too. You know what I mean? So I say it was about maybe, that day probably was about maybe 30 of us or more. I'm not really sure. It could have been 30. And everybody had to get up, around the table one by one and introduce themselves and saying what they're here for and what they're trying to accomplish. So everybody was doing it. And then when it came to me, oh my God, I was just so nervous, man. So I got up, said my name and what I was here for. And when everybody was looking at me, I was like, I kind of fake laughed, and then I got mad serious. I went from fake laughing to like getting mad serious quick. It was so embarrassing, man. And after that, I just sat down and everybody started clapping for me, because that's what the staff or the workers wanted you to do for each and everybody that was there for the orientation. And after that was done, they the people, well, the workers, they gave us all laptops, and we had to do a lot of testing. You know, we did a lot of testing that day to see where we, where we needed the most help at, like math. It was a lot of social studies in there, and I suck at math, big time. And mind you, guys, it's been so long since I've been in school. Since like 2012, 2013, that was the last time I was in school. So it felt pretty weird, and it was like all new to me in that type of environment of going back to school, trying to get my education and trying to do right, you know. So we did the testing. Long story short, I failed. I failed it, and after that, we did a walkthrough on the floor, on that particular floor. I think we was on the, like I said, I forgot what floor. I think it was the third or fourth floor, because that was my school floor. So we doing, we walking, we all get in line, and the workers are showing us around the floor, and each, the floor is very small. It has small classrooms. Everybody, it's like a special. It looked like a special ed classroom. The classrooms look very small, and it was nice looking. Uh, it had like vending machines, like candy, stuff like that. When they were showing us on the floor and stuff. So after that was done, they told me who my teacher was, and my teacher at that time was Miss Sharon. Miss Sharon, shout out to her, man. She was a very, very nice teacher, and I should have gave her a chance at first. But when I first seen her, I felt like she didn't like me for some reason. But after going there for like a week, couple of weeks to months to a year, she became cool. And because when I first went to her, basically they just throw you inside of a classroom where they're already doing class work, and you're just gonna have to blend in with the class. Mind you, guys, again, like I said, I'm an introvert. I'm always alone. It was about maybe 10 of us in the classroom. Yeah, it just that environment just felt very, very weird, man. I just felt very uncomfortable when I was like in class. I did try to talk to like half of the females in my classroom, though. I'm not gonna lie to you, but they all had all of them was actually older than me, because like I said, it's an adult school, so a lot of them was like maybe like in their 40s or mid 30s or something like that. Miss Sharon, how the way she teaches, she did very well, you know. Like I said, I didn't give her a chance when I first went inside the classroom. And after the first day of class or something like that, or a couple of days going to class, I went to try to talk to my counselor or something like that. And because he wanted to speak to me and where, this, that, and the third, what I was trying to do and stuff like that. But yeah, Miss Sharon, I'm so lucky I had Miss Sharon as my teacher. She was about like 5'2" or 5 feet tall. Um, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. When I was going to classes in the morning, because my class, hold on, my class started 9 a.m. and then it ended like 12 p.m. That's around like 2 to 3 hours. And again, like I said, I'm so glad I had Miss Sharon as my teacher, man. She was very nice and respectful. I never had an issue with her. Even when certain times when she was teaching, like the classmates, they would like make jokes and be very destructive, and she would just get quiet until everybody settled down and listened to her as she teaches. When we was doing math and social studies, because I really couldn't. I was slowly getting the math and then the social studies too. And then we did other subjects too prior to that. But we was doing everything off of laptops. And then it'd be times where I've been trying to like I'd be in the classroom. I'd be trying to be really focused in the morning. And again, like I said, certain classmates or certain people, they would come in and keep talking loud and shit, getting on my last nerves, and it would kind of throw my focus off of me trying to do what I have to do to see if I could get my GED and get the fuck up out of there. You know, I didn't really make friends in there. I remember it was a couple of black females in there. Yeah, I know how black women are. But I forgot this one particular black girl. I believe she was living in a shelter in the Bronx somewhere, but she just says whatever she feels what's on her mind. That's how black women are, but I'm not going to get too much in detail with them. But long story short, she was in my class, and then we kept seeing each other in the morning time, like downstairs, when I would press the elevator to go up to the like fourth floor. And when I would see her, I would give her a hug, because she was going through it at that particular time and her issues. And I felt like she was my sister, you know. And then as time was going, me and her became a little close. Not that close, but I would say hi to her in the morning, and then sometimes I wouldn't say hi. It'd be so weird, you know. I'm like that with everybody, but yeah. But but yeah, with social studies and certain topics, we would talk about racism, and it's been times where in class it'd be a little too uncomfortable talking about racism, but that's what my teacher Miss Sharon had to teach, because that's what they was giving her to do. She was just there to get her paycheck and do the right thing. And it's crazy, man. And then it was this other Puerto Rican female. She was from the Bronx, and she was new too as well. Cause I remember I remember seeing her in the orientation, and she she had a kid or something like that. And anyways, besides that, she would say whatever's on her mind too. So at times it would be like tension within, in the class. And we every morning when I would go in class, we always doing a lot of morning work, and then I would come to class most of the times, and I wouldn't say good morning to nobody. I would just go straight to my desk and do my work. Because I was noticing every time when people would come to class, they'd be like, good morning, and everybody would say good morning. I had this, we had, it was this one Asian girl I was trying to talk to. Me and her had to pair up as a team to talk about. I think it was, I forgot what we was doing. I think we was doing social studies or something. Like we had to read off the laptop and discuss it, and on that particular topic and shit like that. And it felt very weird, working. I'm not working with her, but teaming up with her. But I'm pretty sure. I don't know if they was judging me, but I always felt like somebody or classmates would talk about me behind my back or some shit. Because we had most of the times we had a lot of females in my class, which was great, you know. But yeah, Miss Sharon, she was very, very nice, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, Now this is the part where I stopped going to school. Okay, so one day Miss Sharon, she was absent, and we had to go to my class. We had to go to another classroom, and we was doing a lot of testing again, a lot of testing, and it's like fuck, I hate doing that shit. I hate doing a lot of testing and shit. Cause mind you guys, I told you I was just going to class just to go to class. I wasn't studying. I was never studying. I was just going just to go. You know what? Before I get to that, why I stopped going to school, I'm gonna get to the part where one day, well, after class, um, I went to the office, and I think I was talking to the principal, and my principal, she was a black woman. It was mostly black people in that school, like black workers, staff members, which was great. So anyways, one day, yeah, when I went to the office, I forgot why I went to the office, but I went to the office, and then I was just so overwhelmed, and I had like so many mixed emotions. My mind was just spinning, 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 because like the work was like getting so hard for me and shit. And I was like, damn, man, shit was just hitting me. So I went to the office, and then I broke down crying, like literally in the fucking, in the office. Like they was like talking to me about, it was my counselor and the principal and somebody else. They was all women though. And they was talking to me, and I just broke down crying in front of them. And I'm pretty sure like other people in the office, they was like, they stopped whatever they was doing, and they were just looking at me, because I don't know, man. I just broke down crying. So when I broke down crying, everybody, well, they came to me with hugs and telling me I'm gonna be all right. And yeah, just kept telling me I'm gonna be all right, and it felt good. Getting them hugs, man. I cry, like I said, I cry like almost every day off of my depression, and after after I felt, after I was done crying, um, I just I was just trying to do better, man. I wish I would have in my younger days when I was going to school when I was young, because I kept playing around, not going to class and getting left back and stuff, and eventually it caught up to me when I got older. Now I'm out of my prime, I'm not in my prime no more. Um, but my counselor, she was a female, this black woman. She, me and her would talk here and there. And again, like I said, the work would get too hard for me. And I was trying. I was still going to class, trying to do well for myself, and I had goals I wanted to accomplish. And like I said, good thing about that school is that I did not want to take no vaccine just to go to just to go to school. Now, after I got teared up and I was breaking down the office, this is when I started like one day, like I said, okay, so Miss Sharon, she was absent one day, and my class, we went to another classroom and we did a lot of testing, and the test was hard, man. When I say it was hard, it was hard. I'm like, oh my god. So it was another teacher, but she was very, very disrespectful. This black woman teacher, she was very rude, very, very rude and disrespectful. Like you could tell, she has zero tolerance. Um, and it was like no mercy. Like if you don't get it, then you just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the type to keep coming to somebody and asking somebody for help all the time, because I feel like they're gonna get aggravated, and then I'm gonna get aggravated, and then it's a different story. So I was just the whole time I was just on the laptop, just pressing different things and buttons and shit, act like I was doing something, doing the testing, and that shit was hard than a motherfucker. I was there for about an hour or two, and again, like I said, the teacher. Thank God I did not have her as my teacher, because I would have been stopped going to class. But she was the main reason why I stopped going to school. Like literally after that day, I felt disrespected by her. Even though my actual teacher, Miss Sharon, she was absent that day, I literally stopped going to school. After that day, I was like, I'm done. I'm totally done. Um, and it hurts me that I did that to myself. And this is why, like, I don't like being around people, man, because, like I said, it's always disrespect. Somebody's always rude. Someone's always not nice to you, and like I said, I have a temper problem, and And sometimes I feel like I'm a snap on people. To prevent that, this is why I'm an introvert and I'm a big Cancer. But whatever. So yeah, how the way she was talking to me was very disrespectful, basically. So I stopped going to class for like a weeks, and then I was getting a lot of emails from the school. And I remember that day when I was in Grand Central at 42nd Street. I forgot what I was doing. I think I was getting food or something. And then I get a phone call from the school, and I forgot her name, man. Damn. I forgot her name. Mrs. Man, I forgot her name, but anyway, she called. She was like, she was asking me why I stopped going to class, and this, that, and the third. And she said, "It's up to you. I can't help you. I can't keep calling you and calling you. This, that, and the third." Long story short, it was basically up to me. I'm a grown man, and I just stopped. I stopped going to class and I stopped going to school, man, altogether. And I really let myself down, man, because I really had a goal on just trying to get my GED, and from there try to see if I could start a career. I forgot they had, I think, like trade schools, yeah, like trade schools you could go to and stuff. And I fucked it up, man, for myself, you know. Um but I'm not gonna make this video too long. I could drag this video out literally like a whole hour in detail, talking about what's been happening in class and this, that, and the third, but I'm not gonna do that. Um with that being said, you guys, y'all pray for me, man. I'll catch y'all in my next video. I'm gonna try to go back to sleep. Y'all have a good one. Peace.